Hello. Hello. Good evening, neighbors, friends, brothers and sisters. Welcome. This is your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, joining you again. Another Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I know that this month has been a Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak. And I know that it is still, the sun hasn't set, but it's still soon, folks. So happy Ramadan. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuits, and Métis. Folks that are joining me on Instagram, welcome. And also welcome Andrea Barrett, our candidate from Brampton South. Welcome, joining me on Instagram. I hope you're doing well. And Barlene, welcome too for joining me as well. And Frank, welcome, says good evening, Brother Faisal Hassan, and I hope you're well. And Carla, welcome. And I'm well, thank you. And I was just saying early on, it's also in the month of Ramadan, and welcome and good evening also, Andrea Parrott says. Good evening to you as well. And Barlin says, thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining. And Rithan Rana, welcome as well. And also it's Friday. Happy Easter to you, neighbors and friends. Of the Christian religion, celebrating Easter Friday and Monday as we head into the long weekend, folks. I want to wish a blessed and joyful Easter holiday, and I'm so thrilled that churches across the community will see congregates celebrating as a community and families coming together to celebrate Easter meals together. Some of you will be doing Sunday, some of you will be doing tomorrow, and some of you tonight. And I hope you can gather safely and enjoy the company of loved ones during this most sacred feast. And also, Ayana Francis, welcome, and also for joining me, our children's author, joining us as well. Welcome. And also, folks, Passover begins this evening and ends also next Friday at the evening of next Saturday, rather, on April 23rd. And I want to also wish our Jewish neighbors and friends also in York South Western and across Ontario, happy Passover to all. And hope you are able to celebrate safely this year with your family as well. And thank you. And I also apologize, folks. We will be including our newsletter this week as well, the Passover, and it's just begun this evening as well. So happy Passover to you. And also, Amina, welcome, joining us as well. And also, Amin Boss is also joining us. Welcome. And also, folks, it is also the Tamil New Year to the Tamil members of our community and across the province and across the world. I would like also to wish you all a very happy Tamil New Year. May the sun bless you with happiness, richness, and gallery. I hope you have the opportunity to celebrate the occasion with friends and family and loved ones. Butandu Fashtukal. And Happy New Year. And welcome, folks who are joining also on Instagram. You are joining me live. Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also LinkedIn and YouTube as well. And if you haven't subscribed my YouTube, please do so. And this week, I was extremely busy, and I want to give you the updates. I was also at the legislature representing you. And I also welcome Parents First Association of Canada also joining us, and also Dr. Gurpreet Singh also joining us. Welcome. And Smiles Zaza joining us. Welcome. Folks are joining us on Instagram there. Welcome to you. And those also folks joining us also Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP. Welcome. And all of you welcome. This week also I attended also my colleagues who are actually doing a fantastic humanitarian and also volunteerism in the community, and they are also Lions Club Convention. And I would like to thank District A711 Lions for inviting me to their 22 convention this weekend in Mississauga. And Lions Club is a volunteer-run organization responsible for countless charitable acts across our community and also in Ontario. And I appreciate them for their support and selfishness in service of vulnerable members of our community and showing up in large numbers and contributing. And that's also something to really thank them for that volunteerism, for their work. And welcome, meet me at the Crossroads. Welcome as well. And also this week I received our youth council. As you know, I'm the official opposition's youth critic opportunities, and I have urged every member to create a youth council so that we create the opportunity to get involved our young people early on into the provincial government structures and activities and the role of the provincial government. And the youth council visited me this week to Queen's Park on Monday, and I was thrilled to have current Faisal Hassan Youth Council for York South-Weston and farmer members join me at Queen's Park this Monday, this week. After enjoying a tour of the legislature, they also enjoyed the chance to witness question period from the viewing public gallery, because members' gallery was not accessible to them. And it's because it's not open to the public, so they stayed on the public gallery. And thank you to Devron Iswabi and Saharla Osman and Rhythm Rana and Jamila Winter Scotland for joining me on Monday this week for your hard work in service to the community is appreciated. And keep up the good work and the work you're doing on the Youth Council for the MPP Faisal Hassan. Folks, you're joining your Member Provincial Parliament Faisal Hassan. You join me every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and to hear me, the work we do on the week's work. And also this week was also a very busy week. And quickly, our London Family Act, to my disappointment, we learned this week that the government does not intend to allow passage of our London Family Act prior to the upcoming election. This important legislation was written by the National Council of Canadian Muslims and the Ontario NDP in collaboration with Canadian National Council of Canadian Muslims. It addresses calls to action made in the NCC's recommendations to the National Summit on Islamophobia and urging provincial leaders to move beyond words and take a concrete and meaningful action to combat Islamophobia and hatred in all its forms in Ontario. Although this is a disappointing development, we are committed to an Ontario where no one fears for their safety while wearing a hijab or worshipping at a masjid. Thank you to everyone in the community that has stood behind this important bill. And the Our London Family Act, as I said, was written by the National Council of Canadian Muslims and the NDP in collaboration. It addresses calls to action made in the NCC's recommendations to the National Summit on Islamophobia, urging provincial leaders to move beyond words and undertake concrete, meaningful action to combat Islamophobia in Ontario. The bill is dedicated to the Afsar family who were tragically killed in an Islamophobic terrorist attack in London last year, with hate and hate crimes and Islamophobia on the rise in Canada and in Ontario specifically. The Ford government should be doing everything in its power to make sure Muslims can live without the fear of being targeted with violence and hate. And I am one of the co-sponsors, including of this bill, including my colleagues from London, Fanshawe and London West and London North Centre. The NCC, the National Council of Canadian Muslim, has provided a Ford government a roadmap for fighting Islamophobia in Ontario. But Ford government is refusing to listen to the urgency of this call for action. We need to work together now to provide the safety and protection from hate that Muslims are asking for and deserve. So this week also the government has adjourned the House another 3 more days, and they're saying that the House is going to convene on April 28. And that's basically 1 week of this month and 2 more weeks, 2 more days actually on May, and that's it. And we're going to an election, and they have no intention actually passing this bill, even though they also did an unprecedented act of actually denying us to debate on second reading of the bill and then moving it into a committee. Something has never been used in the legislative tools to basically put into committee. They said that the reason they are putting into committee is to actually fast track it, but that was a lie. That was not their intention. Their intention was not at all to pass this legislation. So folks, an election is coming, so make sure that we have an NDP government headed by Andrew Horwath. And also you heard also the Ford government's nepotism is very clear. He favors his buddies and friends, and all of a sudden he also appoints his nephew to run against me in this community, as someone who has no business running in this community because he doesn't live here and he has no connection to this community, and he has also represented his neighboring riding on the west of the Humber River, and the communities there also need representation. So this is also what this Ford Conservatives vision is, just that looking at their buddies and their friends. And we need a strong voice, a strong representation in this community, not Fords. They will not represent this community. We have seen them. The last 4 years, it took 7 months for them actually to deliver for a COVID test center. And we've seen the promises broken again and again. We can't have that. We need someone who lives in the community, and I'm the only candidate this coming election that lives in the community, whether they are liberals or the conservatives, both of them. They have been representing this community the last 15 years, and we have seen also the government of the conservatives the last 4 years. So folks, make sure you get involved. Make sure, if you want to stop this unheard nepotism and also out of control for the conservative government, here is where we're going to stop them. We're going to stop them, and we're going to form government that serves you. So join that fight and make sure that York South-Weston have a strong local voice, and that together we can give our community a voice. Not we have seen this government had 4 years to deliver results, and definitely we will make sure that this community has that strong local voice. And I have been working very hard on your behalf, bringing together our community. And the Fords have been dividing communities, again and again. And that's not the kind of representation this community needs. Folks, welcome Valerie, welcome Frank, welcome Bob, welcome Hanat, Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, and it's getting almost half the end, basically. We are today, I believe, the 13th or the 14th, and happy Ramadan Mubarak. Good evening, Valerie says. Good evening to you. Also, folks, good news also. This week also we debated our bill for auto insurance, ending auto insurance discrimination. And remember, folks, I have spoken this many, many times, and auto insurance postal code discrimination happens in our community. Sorry about that. In our community, and Bill 103. I'm happy to report that Bill 103, which would end the practice of auto insurance postal code, has passed second reading at the legislature this week. And I was one of the co-sponsors, Kevin Yard from Brampton North, and also Tom Rokosevich from Humber River Black Creek, and also Dolly Beckham, and also co-sponsored. No, I think it's the Goritan Singh. Yeah, Goritan Singh co-sponsored, and also actually Dolly Begum. Yes, was part of it. So has passed second reading at the legislature this week. I am hopeful that this bill can continue to receive support and swift passage through the legislature. We need this government to pass it the remaining days, bringing it to a third reading and royal consent. Insurance companies have racked in rocket profit during COVID-19 pandemic, and it is time that they are held accountable for their treatment of consumers. The gouging of drivers in our community must come to an end. And that's what I have been, folks, fighting since you have elected me. Trick, welcome. Faduma, welcome. And I've been fighting for that. Remember, we have put many bills since start of the 42nd Parliament, and every opportunity this government voted down. And this time, Bill 103, they have voted with us, but we wanted it to move it swiftly to a third reading and a royal consent. It's important that that happens to end postal code discrimination in communities like ours. Meet at the crossroads says to you folks, vote for NDP. Get that, vote for NDP. Thank you. Meet me at the crossroads. And this election is an important election because it's an election that will determine who represents you. Someone who lives in the community, and the liberals and the conservatives have always parachuted people to communities in which they don't represent. And now we ask ourselves again and again why they are not advocating for us. Well, we knew them. They have not been advocating for us. For the last 4 years, you have elected me to represent you, and I have been a strong voice for this community. And we need also that strong local voice to continue representing York Southwestern. And indeed, we have seen the nepotism of the premier and also looking after his friends and his buddies, and we don't want York Southwestern simply becomes another afterthought. And this is also something we're going to stand up to them and make sure that York Southwestern remains a strong voice for you and also for the community to have to represent you, to continue to represent you at the Queen's Park as we soon, within 2 weeks, as we go back and also earn your trust and confidence. I have been accountable, I have been accessible, and we have an office right here in the heart of the community. As you know, the constituency office before me was hidden somewhere far away from the community. Even the buses could not go. You have to have a car to reach your elected member. And this was also the case, the federal MP. This was the case also for the MPP before me. And I have changed that to make sure that it is accessible. You can reach by walking, you can reach by any bus, any direction, and you can also walk to the office right here in the heart of Western. And that is exactly the kind of representation we need to continue in this community, bring the community together, and also making sure that we fight for you for services and programs that have been neglected by this government. Also, keep in mind also, this government, their agenda is privatization. We have seen also the privatization of our healthcare and also the long-term care. And also now they want also to continue also privatizing our education. And we have to stop that to make sure that we have an NDP government headed by Andrew Horvath. And remember also, the Liberals had 15 years to make things better. To make things better. What have they done? They've broken our promises. They've broken again and again. And remember that. Also their privatization of hydro, and also privatizations of long-term care and continues. So many scandals at that time, Dalton McGuinty and Captain Wynne. And now the last 4 years, we had Ford, Doug Ford and his conservatives, and we have seen also what he has done. He has downsized or cut representation to a city hall. We know that also he has brings bills like Bill 124, disrespecting our workers, our frontline heroes, our nurses. He says one time, I heard him saying, these are our heroes and champions. He can say anything he wants, but he cannot follow up. We have seen the last 4 years who he represents. He represents his buddies, those folks well-to-do, the big box stores. Well, the small businesses, they were not open. Well, the big stores were open. That is who is fought and the conservatives represent. And that's why we need in this community someone like me who lives here over 20 years, knows the community, understands the issues of the community, and lives among the community and understands the issues. Who can fight? But somebody who does not live in our community will not fight for us. Get that clear and make sure some, a media like 1010, might be spinning, here and there, but make sure don't listen to those things. Come out in large numbers and give a strong local voice to our community. And I'm happy to continue serving our community, of course, with your trust and confidence. Welcome, Josie, welcome. And welcome, Akil, also welcome. And Josie says, hi, work on our healthcare. Exactly. Our healthcare is who we are. Our healthcare is who we are. Tommy Douglas visioned a public healthcare from head to toe. And this government, the previous government, under the Kathleen Wynne and Dalton McGuinty, eroded the agenda of privatization of healthcare. And we've seen also Mike Harris and Erin Eves, and now Doug Ford too. Their agenda is very clear, is privatization of our healthcare. We need to expand healthcare, including also mental health, dental care, eye care, and pharma care, to make sure that our seniors, our young people, everybody is looked after who needs dental care and pharma care, and also mental health, counseling, and therapy as well. And my leader also launched that we are going to include OHIB on also mental health services. And that's a very good news, folks. Thank you. This is your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, joining you every Friday. And I've been joining you every Friday since almost now 2 years, consistently being accountable to you. Do you think that Doug Ford has been accountable and has been holding accessible to you when you call in his constituency? You know it, what I'm talking about. We don't want another Ford in this community, um, because this is not a community in which they will be advocating for. And we have a strong local voice, and I have been advocating that for the last 4 years, and we need to continue that service to bring real change in Queen's Park by having an NDP government. Folks, quickly, I'll turn to your comments. Josie says, yes, dental care, mental health as well. Thank you. Definitely. Navira, welcome. Steve, Annie, welcome. And welcome to you, folks. Each and every one of you, welcome from Instagram and Twitter and Facebook page, as well as also LinkedIn and also YouTube. Welcome. And remember, folks, we need a strong local voice. And that local voice is what we need. I live in this community, neighbors, friends, brothers and sisters, and I've lived here over 20 years. In Jane, in Hadding, in church, those long years here is in my community. And we need to have that voice who can bring our community, understands the community, the leaders, the faith communities, and every member of our community. It needs to be heard. And remember, I have been accessible to you, and I have been listening to you. My office is accessible to you. It's located 1965 Western Road. You can email me, fhassan-co at ndb.on.ca, and you can reach me at 416-243-7984. And welcome, folks. Welcome, Jeff, our most hardworking member of provincial parliament for Niagara. Welcome. And also Nadira, welcome. And Nadira says, hi, Faisal Hassan. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for all of you for joining me this evening. And also I want to talk too about this week also was also on Equal Bay Day. We celebrated, and also my leader Andy Horvath said she will ensure all early childhood educators are paid a decent wage. This measure will help people make childcare a career and grow the number of spaces so every working parent can find affordable childcare. Our plan will start with an immediate wage floor on $25 for registered and early childhood educators in the child care sector and $20 for all other child care program staff. We will also work with unions and childcare advocates to design and implement a workforce strategy leading to a wage. Grit and decent work standards, including benefits, pensions, and support for childcare workers to upgrade their qualifications. It is time to treat these valuable workers with respect they deserve. And folks, this government says again and again, they are calling our frontline workers heroes and champions. This is what Doug Ford does and his conservatives. They say that they are heroes, they are champions, and then next he says and introduces Bill 124 by actually capping to 1% for their wages and disrespecting them, especially our nurses, our hardworking frontline workers, and this is unacceptable. We have seen him for 4 years, folks. It's time for change and real change. And we have seen the last 15 years, those guys who have always saying whatever comes to their mind, and when they have an opportunity to deliver, they don't. And that is we've seen that, and Dalton McGuinty and Del Duca team with Kathleen Wynne and so on. And Carlos, welcome as well. This week I rose in the legislature as well, and to also and to question the government regarding an issue that has persisted in York Southwestern in our community for too many years. The worsening impact of climate change have intensified the flooding experienced in neighborhoods across our community. But this issue is not new. We have seen municipal investments in the rustic and make-believe communities fail to address the damage experienced by homeowners in the area. Seapark and Liscombe, and also we've seen the Rockcliffe Smites neighborhood is currently undergoing the Rockcliffe Ravine Flood Mitigation Project environmental assessment. And the community has very valid concerns that the proposed solutions to address flooding in the area do not go far enough. They are asking the Ministry of the Environment to take those concerns seriously, expand the scope of remediations work, and come to the table as a true partner and also listen to the community. Residents are tired of being kept up at night by strong storms and feeling like they cannot travel because they need to. Sorry, sorry about that. They cannot travel because they need. Sorry about that. They need to project their homes. They need to protect their homes from possible flooding. They are asking for an end to current land use and any future development plans in Rockcliffe Court, well documented as the highest risk floodplain in the Toronto Region Conservation Authority's jurisdiction. They are dismayed by plans to replace the final portion of Lavender Creek with a concrete channel. They also have valid concerns that the environmental assessment ignores the real impacts of industrial activity and the lack of flood mitigation measures upstream in the city of Vaughan. In short, the community recognizes a band-aid solution when they see one and are demanding that the government do more to make a lasting impact in the community. I have written to all levels of government to advocate for this issue, and I'm happy to report that our federal and municipal partners have come forward with funding to support the project. But the provincial government has yet to make the same commitment, and this is the failure of Ford Conservative government here. The community is not interested in quick fixes. They are looking for generational change and hope to put an end to the stress and anxiety that comes with severe weather forecasters. They want consideration given to the expropriation of lands for flood mitigation. They want site remediation and efforts to divert stormwater in upstream communities. The government that has ignored climate change as an issue is now ignoring its impacts on our community. And I pledge to stand with the residents of Rockcliffe Smites as they fight for the resources they deserve from this government. And provincial government should be on the table supporting the community. Thank you, folks. And Joyce says, I agree, time to replace Ford. Indeed, it's time to replace him at the legislature and also to have a new government, a government that will put you first. And folks, a government headed by Andrew Horvath, an NDP government, is ready. The team is ready. It is strong and ready, and ready to work for you. And that's what we need in Ontario in this coming election in June 2nd. Make sure you get involved. Make sure that you deliver support for this community, York Southwestern, and also across the province. We need to make sure that we work together to deliver results, get involved, and make sure that you ask to and engage with your neighbors, have a conversations, and folks, look at this. We need strong local voice, a voice that lives in the community, that understands the community, that also gets it. This community also have been neglected. We have been fighting for this community for years and years, even though we had a liberal representation that have taken us for granted and have also neglected this community for so long. We have ended that in 2018. Let us not go back to that, and certainly not also to the Ford Conservatives, because this community is a community that has always stood up their interests, and we will not want an afterthought, that we become an afterthought. It took Ford had an opportunity to support this community during the pandemic. It also exposed the inequities and disparities that exist in this province. And what do? They continue to not deliver and just basically make excuses. They have an opportunity to make things better rather than making it worse for 4 years now. Welcome, Yusuf. And Yusuf says, Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak. And Yusuf says, keep safe. Well, thank you very much. And folks joining us also Instagram, welcome. And thank you for joining me. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to share with you the work of the week at the legislature and also in the community. And I know that this month has been a Ramadan. It has been tough for me as I began my fasting, but I am happy because Ramadan, I could not miss it any day. Continue to make sure that also I continue to do that while I'm also serving you and continuing to work on your behalf. It's important. Our office is always open here to help you, to listen to you, even if you have wanted to just listen to me, just to talk to me. The office is located 1965 Western Road, and you can reach me or email me by email fhassan-co@ndb.on.ca, and you can phone me 416-243-7984. Thank you, folks. And also Adam Solomon, Brother Solomon, welcome. Henry Sally, welcome and congratulations for graduating recently. I've seen you graduated, brother. Welcome. An excellent work, Harry says, Honorable Faisal Hassan. Thank you, folks, for joining. And you hear also, folks, the news that Ford Conservatives wants to expand his nepotism by just handpicking his nephew to run against me, folks, here in York Southwestern. And his nephew is currently serving Etobicoke North City Councillor. What about the community he's serving there? They don't care. And we have seen also that also extended into his friends, his buddies. That's who is looking after this guy. And we need to send a strong message this election, and make sure that we have a government that we deserve. A strong, ready, working for you government headed by Andy Horvath. And Harry, welcome. And folks, welcome. Again, you're joining, you're a member of Provincial Parliament, Faisal Hassan. You're joining in LinkedIn and YouTube, Instagram, Faisal Hassan NDP, Facebook page, Faisal Hassan NDP, and also Twitter, Faisal Hassan NDP. I have been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic and continue to do this because I wanted to be accessible to you. And we have done that, and we have continued to do so, and we'll be continuing to do before, the election will be called soon. Of course, I'll be heading on the balls just going into meeting you, talking to you, and also making sure that we also again earn your trust and confidence so we can continue making accessible to you and also delivering results for you. But somebody who does not live in this community, someone who already abandoning the community in which he represents, is not the solution for this community. This community has been neglected the last 15 years, and the last 15 years we have seen the representation we have. We have become an afterthought. We have lost so much. No investment for over 30 years in this community, and that is unacceptable, and we're going to change that because you need a strong voice who is going to fight for you and making sure that investments comes to this community. And also we've seen for the conservatives looking after their buddies and their friends, and we have seen opening the big box stores and closing down small businesses. And the small businesses mainly run by women, racialized, and also the working people. And those small businesses was shut down, and we know many of them, Perfect Blend, WIF, and others, women-run businesses, they're gone. And others were not allowed to open during the pandemic, even though it has been proven they have shown better than big stores for saving our social distancing. And that is who he represents, folks. So remember that when you go and vote this coming June 2nd. And also Adam Solomon, welcome. We are watching him carefully. Absolutely, we need to send them strong message to them in this election, and we are going to do that. York Southwestern is not Etobicoke North, folks, and we have to tell that loud and clear, and we have to tell them in the polls and deliver that. We have to do that to send them a strong message in this community. And we will do so as your representative. I will continue to be your voice and also be a strong local voice. I'm the only candidate who lives in the community and this re-election, upcoming election. Okay, quickly, Brandon also is joining. Welcome, Brandon. Brandon says, this week, Premier Doug Ford announced that the mask mandate will be extended. Do you think that it is a good idea to extend the mask mandate in the province of Ontario? And then Adam Solomon says he has no chance here. I agree, but we will not take anyone for granted. We're going to work hard and make sure that we earned the trust and the confidence of every single voter in this community. Because the fact here is, Adam Sullivan, folks, Adam Sullivan is a Juno Award winner musician who is doing a fantastic job in our community because he teaches our young people here music, and he has been doing that for years. And he's also an accomplished musician. Well, thank you for being active in our community and for getting involved in your community. Absolutely, we need to send that message loud and clear, and so on. Okay, and Nadia also, Bert joined. Welcome, Nadia, joining us also Instagram. And also, as you are as the official opposition's critic for youth opportunities, much of my work at the legislature has been in support of improving the conditions for young people in Ontario. And COVID-19 was a challenge for students in elementary, secondary, and also post-secondary schools, dealing with disruptions of virtual learning. For youth in the workforce, it was just as difficult. A large proportion of the job loss that came with the pandemic was experienced in roles that rely heavily on younger workforce. These jobs help pay for school or household bills. Young people who were fortunate to keep their jobs through the pandemic suffered from low wages, difficult work, and very little protection to keep them and their families safe from COVID-19. They were among the frontline heroes that got us through the toughest days of the pandemic. And the future can be brighter for youth in our province, and their experiences can be far more rewarding and respectful as they start on the path of their career. We can provide decent work and also open opportunities for career growth. I passed a motion in the legislature calling on the government to create 27,000 paid co-ops, internships, and placements, unlocking opportunities in the public and private sector, as well as the trades and as well as the trades for students, recent graduates, and unemployed youth, young people entering the workforce deserve to earn a decent wage. Um, Decent wage, which is why we have called for an increase to the minimum wage to $20 gradually. In October, we'll be going October 1st, 2022 to $16, and then also May 1st, 2023, going to $17, and then 2024, May 1st, going 18, and then 2025, May 1st, going 19, and then 2026 going $20. Gradual, predictable, stable schedule is what we are proposing to make sure that our young people have a wage, a living wage rather. And Adam Salomon says, yes, we will work hard to get you elected. You have a good record to our community. Absolutely. We have worked hard. We have advocated for our community. We have fought for schools. We have fought for hospitals. We have fought for teachers. We have fought for our health care, our environment, our child care, our auto insurance in our community that has been targeted because of postal codes. We have continued to stand up to this government and fought and get some results as this government responds to pressure. We put them pressure and continue to do so. But their true colors have been shown as we have come into the pandemic. They have been very slow to respond, and we have taken our actions into our own responsibilities by delivering vaccines to the community, organizing that distribution of vaccines to our seniors and in our communities at large. Quickly, Ontario's youth, like all workers, deserve to know they can afford to stay home. When they are sick, with 10 days paid, 10 paid sick days, it is a policy that respects workers and contributes to healthier neighborhoods and workplaces. Young Ontarians are looking forward to the future and seeing hurdles being placed in front of them. They deserve to have decent and affordable home for themselves. They deserve to have a chance to start a family and enjoy opportunities to thrive. We can open a path for youth by valuing their contributions and labor and keeping life affordable. Young families will soon have the support of a universal childcare program, and this is an important first step. We should do more to invest in the next generation by building quality homes that they can afford, lowering the financial burdens of post secondary education, and building a society where young people are valued instead of being exploited. And that is exactly what has been the challenges our young people have been experiencing. Well, thank you those of you who have asked so much questions. Brandon asked, this week Premier Dak Ford announced that the mask mandate will be extended. Do you think that it is a good idea to extend the mask mandate? Well, I think, Brandon, it's important to make sure that the safety of the public is key. And we have seen he has not been listening to a science table, the health doctors, and so on. And we need to make sure that many of folks are wearing their mask when they go out. It's always good, Brandon, to keep your masks. when you are indoors and when you are in crowded places where you cannot stay on social distancing. So to me, that's a good idea. Adam Solomon says the mask mandate were removed very soon. That was very bad. People are getting sick like fire, burning a forest out of control. Yesterday, my neighbor, below me, a mother and a very strong lady, got sick. She could not breathe. I met her daughter downstairs at the lobby, crying, waiting for an ambulance to pick up her mother. Why is this that our premier, Mr. Ford, is afraid of putting the mask mandates going? Exactly. That is a leadership failure, Adam Sullivan. This is the premier who let us down again and again and again and again and again and again. And that's exactly what's happening. And we need to replace him, period. And so that we have a government that is strong, that is ready and working for you. And that will be a government headed by Andrew Horvath and a strong team, that is ready to govern and put this province forward and put people first. And I think that's the solution. Brandon and Adam Salon. May Gag welcome. And Adam Sullivan says, we support NDP because they care about our people. Indeed, we care the people, we care the all living creatures, including the human beings, the animals, and also our environment as well, to make sure that we live a better environment for our next generation. And we have also put forward our plan for our plan for the for new democratic deal, our climate justice and hope plan for the environment, and also our plan for long-term care and home care is also released. Our housing plan also, homes you can afford. It's also an excellent. And of course, I thank you for your continued support, and we need to continue to earn your trust and confidence. And the ways we can do that is to first and foremost respect, and also work with you and listen to you because we work for you. And that's the key, folks, that a government that is listening and also puts you first is what we need in this coming election. It's happening June 2nd. Those of you who have just joined, you joined your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to hear your concerns and also update you what's happening at the legislature and in the community the week just passed the week just passed. And and meet me at the crossroads says, awesome work, Honorable Faisal. Thank you. And thank you to the wonderful work you're doing. And also recently, also my leader announced that we are going to include mental health counseling and also supportive housing, and also the mental health therapy and counseling will be included, also AHIB, and that means it will be covered, which is an excellent service that we need. Leila, welcome, also joining, also Instagram, and others also joining as well. You're joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan, your member provincial parliament, and I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And folks, we've been doing this since the beginning. Early on, we did Saturday from 3 to 4, and then you have said that is it's not a better time. Let's move it into Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with your consultation. We have done that, and we have been doing that also for quite some time now, and we'll continue to do so. And I think I will continue the coming couple of, I think, 1 or 2 Fridays, and after that, I will be devoting my old energy to the campaign coming up, so that I also ask your, confidence and trust for my re-election efforts coming up soon, so that we continue to have a strong voice here in our community, someone who lives here over 20 years, and we don't want people who are just being parachuted, just showing up and saying whatever they want, lying to us, saying one thing to you, saying someone else something else, and so on. And we have seen this premier's nepotism, parachuting his own nephew, who has a responsibility as a a city councillor, to represent a community that elected him. Now he's going to abandon them, and he's going to somehow also not. He's not going to resign. He's going to continue being paid, and at the same time wants also to say he's going to represent you in this coming election. Well, I say we don't need Fords here. This is not Etobicoke North. This is York Southwestern. We've got to tell them and send them strong messages coming election. So join me standing up to them. And I have been standing up to Doug Ford the last 4 years. And you can see it on my YouTube continuously. You can check it out. I have been advocating this community, and also make sure also the first thing I did was also that hidden office away from the community, that buses don't go there. I have shut it down and brought the office right in the heart of the community, where every single person could come to through buses, is accessible. And now we have a community office that people can have access by bus, by car, and by also cycling as well. So that's also what I have promised early on, saying that the office is going to be accessible. And indeed, we made it accessible to the community. And our office have been continuously during the pandemic serving the community. I've been answering your phone calls. I have been answering your emails to make sure that we work for you to hear your concerns. And we will continue to do that to also give you a strong voice and also a strong local voice to bring your concerns to Queen's Park. Well, thank you very much. Brandon says, now that the legislature is not meeting, why is the legislature only meeting on April 28? Well, that's a very good question. As you know, the legislature was scheduled earlier on to meet April 25th, 26th, 27, and 28 was also that week, the last week of April, and then 3 days or 2 days on also in May, and then after that we are going to the general election. But what this government said that they don't want to meet on the 25th, they don't want to meet on the 26th and the 27th, but they want to meet on the 28th. That's what they have done, Brandon. And also, this is also, that's what their House leader said yesterday, that this is what they're going to do, unfortunately. So that is a shame, my friend. We are losing 3 days. We could be talking about housing. We could be talking about auto insurance. We could be talking about issues important for stockyards, climate change, and important issues for this community, for jobs, for employment issues, and so on. But we won't be able to do that those 3 days that they have said that we are not going to meet. And I guess we'll be meeting then on April 28. Folks, I only have now just 2 more minutes because I'm going to break my fast shortly, and also and look forward to meeting you again this coming Friday, to also talk to you the important issues in the community, to hear your concerns as well, and also to take some of your comments as well. Those who have joined, you are joining your member provincial parliament, Faisal Hassan. I join you every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you are joining me on YouTube. And if you are joining me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And if you've missed those important videos, please make sure you subscribe so you get instant updates quickly. And also, you can also join me every Friday from LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and also Twitter as well, and also my Facebook page, Faisal Hassan, NDP. You can join as well. And that's it for me, folks. It's now 8 p.m. And that's it. I will be quickly preparing to break my fast. And thank you. I'll be seeing you folks again next Friday from 7 p.m. See you then. Take care each other. Make sure you look after one another. I'll be seeing you again next Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.